One of the great things about being famous is millions of people want to be just like you, which means millions of people want to buy products or services that are associated with you. We've seen success stories like Rihanna's Fenty, Gwenyth Paltrow's Goop, and Kylie Cosmetics by Kylie Jenner, and celebrities have made millions, if not billions, venturing into different careers. But not every celebrity who's tried to start a new career has been successful. Fame doesn't equal success. I'm about to count down the top 10 celebrities that tried and failed to start new careers here for you on IO. What's gravy fam jam? This is IO. I'm Charlotte. Subscribe for spicy trending news updates and top 10 lists and follow the IO team on social media. Before I get into this one, I want you to tell me in the comments if you were famous or you had enough money to start a brand or try to pursue any career, what would you do? Let me know down below. Starting off our list at number 10, we have Lance Bass. Lance Bass was known as that other hot guy who turned out to be gay from NSYNC. Although the boy band found mega success, they eventually split up to pursue solo careers. And by that I mean Justin Timberlake pursued his successful solo career. But Lance Bass is not only a looker, he's got brains too. In 2002, he went through training to become the youngest person in space. He was gonna spend a week up there, above the International Space Station up there, I don't know why I said that with an accent, as a guest of Russia. So what happened? Well, about a month before the mission, the Russian space agency said that Lance would not be on the flight because he failed to dish out the $20 million fare it takes to get up there. Yeah, it's a nice chunk of change for 1 week vacation in zero gravity looking at the big blue flat earth. I'm sure Jeff Bezos could do it and not even bat an eyelash, but 20 million is an amount not many people would want to cough up. That's like all his royalties from NSYNC. Although he still hasn't achieved his dreams of officially becoming an astronaut, he said in 2016 that he still plans to do it. In the meantime, he hosts a podcast called The Daily Podcast with Lance Bass, and he also co-owns a restaurant in West Hollywood. At number 9 on our list we have Britney Spears. There are some singers and pop stars that successfully make the transition from the music industry to acting. Justin Timberlake, Jennifer Hudson, Mandy Moore, just to name a few. But although I do remember Crossroads quite fondly, Britney Spears' brief endeavor into acting was not as successful. Crossroads was released in 2002. It's a film starring Britney Spears about a road trip. Reviews for the film, yeah, they weren't good. Critics hated it, but I do remember acting out the I Love Rock and Roll cover Britney did in the film with my hairbrush as a microphone. Who else did that? Leave a like. But Britney's stellar voice wasn't enough to save the film from a 17% rating on Rotten Tomatoes. Britney never tried acting again, but she did get back into music. She released 7 more albums since Crossroads. At number 8 on our list we have Hulk Hogan. Most of you know Hulk Hogan as the huge WWE star. In fact, he's quite possibly the most recognizable WWE star ever to exist. That handlebar mustache is pretty recognizable. But many of you might not know that Hulk Hogan actually tried to open a restaurant. He tried to transition to a restaurateur career in 1995 when he opened Pasta Mania at Mall of America. In case you didn't get it from the name of the restaurant, it was a pasta eatery. Pasta. But it had some, how you say, weird menu items that meant not many people wanted to eat them. For example, Hulk Us or Hulkaroos, which people said basically tasted like pasta you can get in a Chef Boyardee can. Hulk Hogan promoted Pastamania as much as humanly possible on his weekly WCW TV appearances, to the point where the promotions got annoying, like really annoying. Pastamania ended up closing down just 1 year after it opened. At lucky number 7 on our list we've got Clay Aiken. Clay found fame on American Idol. He made it to the top 2 and became the runner-up for season 2. This was when American Idol was really pumping out a lot of stars. If you made it that far in the competition, you were bound to get some fame out of it. Clay Aiken used that fame in an unorthodox but otherwise interesting way. He tried to run for Congress in North Carolina 11 years after he appeared on American Idol. Clay was always an activist. Since an early age he believed in a life of service. He's championed charities like Broadway Cares, Equality Fights AIDS, the Human Rights Campaign, UNICEF, and others. But it seems that this was somewhat doomed to fail from the start. He ran as a Democrat in a traditionally red state. He actually ended up winning the Democratic primary, but instead ended up losing to Republican Renee Elmers in the general election. Clay Aiken said in 2015 that he's not ruling out running again, so who knows what will happen in the future. For now, he's returned to music. At number 6 on our list we have Scarlett Johansson. Scarlett is best known for playing Black Widow in Marvel's Avengers franchise, but it's a little known fact that Scarlett Johansson is actually a pretty good jazz singer. As a jazz singer myself, I can attest to the fact that she's actually very good, but her range is limited. If she had released music maybe in the 1950s, it might have worked for her. I mean, Billie Holiday only had an octave range and she was one of the most iconic jazz singers of all time. Nowadays, it's far more competitive in this day and age, and jazz just isn't revered in the same way that it once was. I mean, you gotta compete with like Ariana Grande. Scarlett Johansson tried to transition into singing in 2008. She recorded a cover of Summertime by George Gershwin and was asked by the label if she would be interested in doing a whole album. She told Interview magazine at the time, "I have just had so many friends who would kill for that opportunity that I almost couldn't pass it up. I have always loved to sing." She released the album Anywhere I Lay My Head in 2008, but only made it to number 126 on the Billboard 200 chart. It didn't get good reviews. She released another song, Break Up, which actually made it to number 41 on the Billboard 200. And a little known fact, if you ever saw the live action Jungle Book where Scarlett Johansson was the voice of Ka, it actually is Scarlett Johansson singing Trust in Me as the credits rolled. I'm wondering why it didn't make it into the actual movie, to be honest. It was pretty good. I had to I made my boyfriend at the time sit down and watch the credits so I could listen to it. I loved it. She also reportedly sings jazz songs to calm her daughter Rose when she's crying, and apparently Rose stops crying immediately when she hears Scarlett singing. At number 5, we've got Lindsay Lohan. Everyone knows that Lindsay Lohan tried her hand at singing, but right now I'm going to talk about her brief dalliance with the nightlife industry. Lindsay Lohan made headlines recently when she opened a beach club in Mykonos and a nightclub in Athens. I gotta admit, I was happy to see her trying something new. Plenty of celebrities have started restaurants and nightclubs, and I feel like Lindsay might have been good at running a bar or a nightclub. I don't know why. I just feel like she likes nightclubs and bars, or she used to like nightclubs and bars. It makes sense that maybe she might want to run it. And MTV thought so too, apparently, because she was giving an MTV show about it, Lindsay Lohan's Beach Club. The nightclub opened in May 2018. The show premiered in January 2019. It had okay ratings. Reviews, however, weren't good. Audiences progressively lost interest as the season went on, and MTV canceled the show after the first season. Producers reportedly felt the show wasn't exciting enough, and that's not where Lindsay was at in her life anymore. According to a friend who talked to Page 6, Lindsay's Mykonos Beach Club was eventually shut down. When someone drove past, the club was deserted and the Lohan sign was stripped off. Honestly though, good for Lindsay for sticking to her morals and trying to stay out of drama and drugs and alcohol, even if it didn't help her show's ratings. At number 4, we have Blake Lively. Much like Gwenyth Paltrow starting her mega successful, though mostly pseudoscience lifestyle website Goop, Blake Lively tried her hand at being a lifestyle e-commerce mogul with a website called Preserve. Blake started Preserve back in 2014. It was a digital monthly e-commerce site and blog that circled around handmade artisan crafts. In 2014, she spoke to Vogue about the endeavor and said, "People want to get back to the magic of smaller, special, and handmade. People want things with meaning. I know that because I want that. This space doesn't exist, so I'm creating it." I honestly would agree with Blake. People do want handmade artisan products. I know I go to craft markets a lot to look for furniture, plants, and trinkets for decorations for my place. The pine into lifestyle was short-lived though. Just 1 year later in 2015, she said she was shutting down Preserve, saying it never caught up to its original mission. It's not making a difference in people's lives, whether superficially or in a meaningful way. Although it would be cool if artisan goods had a bigger platform, I think they technically do, don't they? Etsy. Although it's not an e-commerce blog like Goop, it does connect handmade artisan crafts to consumers. At number 3 on our list, it's Beyonce. You hear a lot of success stories about celebrities starting brands. For example, Rihanna started Fenty and it's super successful. Even though we all want another Riri album, we can settle for her bomb makeup and lingerie. But when Beyonce tried to start a junior fashion line with her mom Tina Knowles called House of Darion in 2006, let's just say it didn't go well. The slogan for the brand was, "Where the sidewalk and catwalk meet." Beyonce says she was inspired by the 70s and her grandmother's style. The brand experienced a controversy though in May 2008 when the advertisements featured 7-year-old girls in full makeup and heels. Critics hated it, and a poll by the Washington Post revealed that 62% of their readers thought the advertisements over-sexualized young girls. House of Darion officially closed up shop in 2012. At number 2 on this list we got Garth Brooks. Musicians who transition into different genres of music can have a ton of success doing so. Kanye West did it, Ray Charles did it, and so did Taylor Swift. Now I definitely didn't know this until I was researching this video, but country megastar Garth Brooks has an alter ego, Chris Gaines. He didn't just try transitioning into a different genre, he wanted to completely change identities. Garth Brooks released one album as Chris Gaines called Garth Brooks in the Life of Chris Gaines, and he said later that it was intended to test the waters for a feature film called The Lambs, where Garth Brooks was supposed to star as Chris Gaines. But although the album was commercially successful, most people just didn't get the whole alter ego thing, and he was criticized very harshly for it. Although over the years the character Chris Gaines as well as the album have actually gained a bit more appreciation from fans, Garth Brooks says that he can't ever see himself returning as the character. And at number 1 on our list we have Michael Jordan. The sports world was very confused when Michael Jordan, at the time the best basketball player in the world and widely considered to be the best basketball player of all time, announced that he wanted to transition transition into semi-pro baseball. Why would anyone mess with such a good thing, man? In 1993, right before the Chicago Bulls were set to start training camp, Michael Jordan announced that he would be retiring from basketball. Shortly after, he announced that he was trying his hand at baseball instead. Jordan always talked about how fond he was of baseball, his father loved baseball, and when he lost his father, maybe he thought the change would honor his dad in some way, or at least make him feel closer to him. In 1994, Michael Jordan signed a minor league contract with the Chicago White Sox. His batting average was .202. After spending a season with the White Sox, he went over to the Scottsdale Scorpions, and his batting average was .252. Lots of experts think that if Michael had kept at it, he might have actually been pretty good at baseball. But some people say that baseball made Michael Jordan rediscover his love for competition and for basketball. Shortly after, he returned to the Bulls, where he led them to 3 more consecutive NBA titles in 1996, 1997, and 1998. Alright guys, there you have it. What do you think of this list? Do you want a part 2? I could definitely do a part 2. For now, I'm gonna quickly wrap up this video with some comment features from top 10 celebrities that stopped giving a damn. Local Clown said, I thought Jared was tall, but compared to Charlotte, he looks so small. Yes, I am tall. I am taller than most people, including Gandalf. I'm 5'11". I don't know how tall Gandalf is. They make him look tall. Oh my god, watching Charlotte and Jared side by side feels like I'm watching Gandalf and Frodo doing the top 10 countdown. Accurate. Accurate. You shall not pass. Glitchy said top 10 celebrities that stop giving a damn. Me. How is IO not on this list? I thought you were celebs. No. I did get recognized the other day though. Actually yesterday someone recognized me and knew my first and last name. I was like, what? I was like, do I know you? It was cool. Anyways, let's stop bragging now. Bye. In the meantime, you host up. Charlotte is why did I say my own name? Charlotte is best known for being a Marvel star. Squirrel girl, here we at. Gaines is actually gay. Alright guys, there you have it. What do you think of this list? Do you want a part 2? I can definitely do a part 2. For now, I'm gonna wrap up this video with some comment features from my top video. Didn't get that right. Let's go. I was going real fast. Go back. Let's do it right. Definitely do a part 2. For now, I'm gonna quickly wrap this video up with some comment features from my top video. I really wanted to get that in one breath.